In this video, I'm going to show you how to use our registration feature.
This will be the first of a few videos. I'm just going through the initial setup, creating a competition, turning on registration, and creating divisions, and going through the registration settings.
First thing to do, if you haven't already, is to create your organization and your competition. To create your competition, go to your organization, then the competitions tab, then click on new. The competition is a season, tournament, playoff tournament, whatever you decide to configure within that competition. Fill in all the required information and then make sure registration is turned on. You don't want to turn registration off or on once you start the competition. This is a decision you want to make upfront on whether or not you're going to use registration. If you are wanting to take payments, turn it on. Next step, here it does indicate that you should have your payment provider set up. If this is your first time, you'll need to set up your payment provider. This will be a separate video, but I'll have a link in the description on how to set up your payment provider.
Once you've gone through the settings and contact info, hit save. The next step is to create your divisions.
To get to your divisions, go into your competition and click on the setup tab. So the division level is where you can control different payment amounts and payment plans. And you may want to take registrations for different populations. So I'll just create division 1 and then create division 2. To do that, you just want to click on the add button right next to your competition, name your division and select the type, then press submit. And then you can do that for the rest of the divisions. So the setup tab is set up. That's enough for me to click on the registrations tab and set up my registrations. To start setting up your registration, click on the registration tab, then click on either the setup registration button or the settings icon. This is the parent registration screen. You can determine the start and end dates of when people can register at the top of the page here. This is where you're going to enable team registration or player registration, and you can enable both at the same time. So player registration would be individuals registering and paying, whether it's registering to a team or registering to a draft or an individual group that is then assigned afterwards. So let's just say we turn on player registration and then hit save. Now let's go over the competition settings. Navigate back to the settings icon on the right side of the page. The first tab is general settings. This is where you set up what type of registration you are going to do. Second tab is payments. This should default in whatever the payment provider is that you have set up. Again, I'll have a support page in the description on how to set up your payment provider. The third tab is player waivers. This is configured underneath the account owner's account settings. So under the profile account settings, you can set up a waiver and it'll be selectable back in the registration settings once it's been added. I'll also add a support article in the description on how to add player waivers. The next tab is player custom form. So this is the standard form we have for individuals. So there's different sections for players, for addresses, if you want to turn on guardian information, emergency contact information. There's a number of preset fields and sections. You can turn any of them off or on. You also have the ability to make questions required. To do this, you just click on the 3 dots on the right side of the question, and then the required switch at the bottom. You can also add your own question to any one of the sections. You can do this by going to the section you want to add the question to and clicking on Add Question. Now, within that question, you can ask for different types of answers, like a long answer, number field, phone number, email, whatever you'd like. And you can add a completely new section of questions. When you're done making your player custom form, you can preview it and see what it looks like. And the last tab is Customize Header. You can add a new header and add some additional information to your player custom form. Once everything's done, hit save. So that was one of the first steps, customize the parent registration settings for the competition.
That's it for this video. In the next video, I'll go over how to set up your payment provider. If you have any questions, click the question mark icon in the top right corner. This will take you to our support page. See ya.